doing? Make sure you share the live. I am doing that as we speak. Hello, hello. Happy Monday. Let me know if you can hear me. As you can tell, I'm in a new spot. Oh, we'll touch on that today. We'll touch on that today for sure. Hello, hello. Good evening. Awesome. I'm excited you're excited to be here. How was everyone's weekend? Make sure you share the live. I just did it. We have an amazing guest tonight. Hello, hello, welcome, welcome. Happy Monday. Hello. Happy Monday. Let me know if you can hear me. So I'm just in a new spot. So let me know, let me know. How was everyone's Monday? How was everyone's weekend? Oh, perfect. Thank you. Hello, hello. Just give it a few moments to get everyone joined in. I am good. I am trying to keep myself busy. How are you guys doing? Thank you for asking. Just give it a few minutes. I'll let people join. Make sure you share it. Everyone's quiet tonight. Let me know what's going on. What's good? How's the weather? First of all, for those that don't know, I live in Alberta, Canada, which is like the west coast of Canada-ish, west Canada, and it's like, I think it's minus 17 today, or tonight, and it was snowing yesterday, so it's been an interesting winter so far, to say the least. Hello, good evening. Hi, hi, hi. Yeah, cold. It's cold for sure. Make sure you guys share the live. Good evening, Earl. How are you? Here. You might hear some Alright, that is a little chilly over here. How's everyone doing? Everyone seems so quiet. I think we can slowly get started here. What do you guys think? I think we can. I think we got enough people in here. So, hello, welcome to All Things Pan. I am your host, Danielle George. Are you just finishing up dinner? That's cool. You can eat and watch us. That's okay. I'm your host, Danielle. Our official sponsor is Pantastics 868. They have everything from tenor sticks all the way to bass sticks. If you live in North America, message me and I will try my best to get the sticks to you. If you live anywhere else, make sure you message Pantastics 868. I just pinned them at the bottom of this page here. I use these sticks religiously. They're amazing. So yeah, make sure you check them out. So, though I see a lot of new faces on here tonight, which I am amazed and happy and excited for. On this page, we normally talk to panists, arrangers, tuners, pan builders, pan enthusiasts about all things pan. I normally do, for the last few months, I've been doing a lot of open discussions, but I thought I'd reel it back into how I used to do it. So we're gonna interview an amazing person today. He is an educator. He's a arranger. He's a musician. He's a composer. He's I don't know. I don't know what else to say because he does everything. So I'm just gonna invite him to. For those who don't know, you were listening to Souls of Steel, listening to a few of their songs. Hello, good evening.
Good morning, Danielle. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm normal, man. And hello to all the viewers, everybody that's joined us thus far.
Yes. So before we start, I just want to get a few things out of the way. Since you're
Yes, I
stuck
am. Well,
here,
I am black. Don't adjust your screen.
okay, good.
It's the first.
Okay. I was trying to adjust, but since you said that, we're good.
Nice.
So before we get started, for those that are watching, you are more than welcome to ask questions. He's stuck here for a good hour, maybe longer. We'll see how the interview goes. So if you have any questions, put them in the question bubble below, and we'll make sure he answers them. Because, like I said, he can't go anywhere. He's stuck here. We have him. Oh,
I brought out my pen just in case. It's all things pan, right? So let's get into it.
I love that.
No,
We're
but
gonna go back to how we used to start. Go ahead.
yeah, but thank you. Honestly, Danielle,
Yeah.
this is huge. It's good meeting you as well, digitally at least.
Hmm.
And I've told as many people as I can, whether they can make it or not, of the good work that you're doing, not only to be
Oh,
here, but also just to advertise and to uplift this platform that you've made for us. So thank you, even from before we even begin the interview. Thank you again.
thank you. I was gonna say that we didn't really meet then, but I first saw you. I think it was Pan Alive. You were hosting. I think that's where I saw you. It was either that or Trinidad.
Yes, that was 2 years ago. I was
Yes,
hosting Pan Alive. Yes,
yes,
alongside Jai and the person to my right. Yes,
yes, yes. And I was just like, who is this man? I've never heard of him.
Kenny Phillip. That's it. Kenny
Yes,
Phillip.
yes.
Yes, it was. That was different. I think I was excited until I got there and realized how long Pan Alive lasts,
Hmm.
and I'm like, how am I going to talk for 4 hours? I don't mind a 5 to 10 minute conversation, right?
Right.
But literally, as it began, Jai and Kenny were next to me, and we were just like exchanging pleasantries before it started. And as soon
Hmm.
as it started, their professionalism just kicked in. You
Right.
know, work ethic kicked in, and the conversation was easy, simple. I think it was easy because we each gave each other a chance to speak,
Right.
and it was really the first time I had an opportunity to speak at length about something that I love doing, right?
Yeah.
And commenting on. So it was a great experience. So you said that you saw me then. I had
Yeah.
less
Because I was like,
grace.
who is this person? And Jimmy mentioned you, and I was like, okay, I got to get him on. I don't know how, but we're going to get you on. And then
Nice.
I can't remember who put us together. I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Gary Pina.
Gary, yes,
Yes.
Gary got us together, and
Yes.
we thank him for that.
Yes. Very much so.
Yes. So let's get into it.
Mhm.
Who is Andre Rouse?
Who
I kind of
is Andre?
who is like the condensed version. I kind of gave a little bit, but who is Andre?
A mover, a shaker. No. You know, I am made up of the experiences that I've had in life. And most of the joyous experiences that I've had over the past maybe I would say 30 to 35 years have centered around music.
Mm,
From my parents to my family to elementary school, learning how to play clarinet, um, to high school, learning music history and theory, into
yeah.
my university career, doing my master's, my teaching degree, and now teaching music as well as performing, running my own band, going around the world playing this instrument and or critiquing, if you will, or giving advice, suggestions to different musicians from around the world. My life has been quite a pleasant one, and it's one thing that I always try to bring people into considering experiencing that music is one of the only art forms. I remember I was taking a vocal course at York, which really helped with ear training,
Mm,
which is why I took it. I was in a choir of 101 people,
wow.
and it was, I've never been in a choir, but it was an experience. Again, I would encourage anybody to do. If anybody is a true musician, they will get out of playing their instrument and into something else within music to understand the similarities, the differences, the intricacies. But long story short, the choir master had said music is like bringing the divine to earth. It's the only art that you can't touch. You can only
Mm,
feel.
yeah,
And when it hits you, there's no pain. And that
yeah.
has always stuck with me. And every art form almost relies on music. When
Mhm,
you dance to music. If you go
yeah,
to an art gallery, there's music playing while you're looking at art, right?
yeah, yeah,
Drama, movies, scene changes all rely on music,
yeah,
right? So
yeah.
it's an art form that's truly magnificent. I'm not saying that it's superior. I won't say it's superior.
I mean, you can.
But I mean, we'll leave it for those who want to critique. But who is Andre Rouse? I would say a mover, a shaker, and a lover of music.
I like that.
Thank you.
Short, simple. It covers everything.
Yeah,
Covers everything.
thank you.
So, how did you first become involved in Pan, and what made you draw towards it? Who forced you?
so so I was I think I alluded to this. I can't remember who I was speaking to, but anyway, I was young. We were all young at one point, and
Hmm.
I remember my mom would always be preparing something in the kitchen for us, and I always had a connection. I always have a connection with my mother,
Yeah.
and it's only as I get older I realize how strong that connection really is. And as she would be cooking, I would prop myself under a chair, and I would put the two speakers at the time beside the chair, and I would put in all of her records and listen to everything. So I'm listening to music from the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, into the 80s, right? Jackson, I'm talking about, Jackson 5, I forget what they're called,
The
the little,
Yeah, I know you. Yeah, I know you
there's a
think the eight.
five, there's a number 5 there's a 5 involved. I can't remember. Anyway,
I think so. Yeah.
and you know, my mom was eclectic, so I'm listening to Waldo de los Rios and remixes of stuff. Long story short, I was my brother would disappear in the summer
Hmm.
every day. And I'd
Right.
say, Mom, where is he going? Oh, he's going to pan practice. What's pan practice?
Mm.
Okay. So a very, very close friend of ours took myself to Penn, I believe it was the following year.
Okay.
And I was put beside a gentleman by the name of Earl Lapierre Jr., who is now like, a brother to me.
Yeah.
It's no, there's no other word for me to put it. He's family. And I was literally told, do what he does. And luckily, luckily, I had the mind and body experience when I was young to be able to coordinate and do exactly what I was told. Just
Hmm.
do what he does.
Right.
The band was Afropan Steel Band, and the song they were playing was Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, which I already knew because of my mom's
Yeah.
records.
Yeah.
So within that moment, I had a huge connection. I was like, this is amazing. I,
Right.
I already know the song. I just need to know the notes,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So fast forward now, I think I was like 9 or 10 years old at that point. I'm in elementary school, but my first instrument I started playing was clarinet.
Okay.
So now I'm also being exposed to brass and woodwinds.
Yeah.
So I have a cultural instrument, and I have brass and woodwinds and the music that comes along with that, and I have two worlds going on at the same time. And children, I'm absorbing everything.
Yeah.
And I think that that's what, not even I think, I know that that's what makes, the older you get, the more you're more firm in your statements. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
my younger self would be like, well, I think this is where no, I like,
You know.
this is why I know my
Yeah.
approach to music is unique
Hmm.
because my experience with it was unique.
Yeah.
Um, and and so now I am growing up. I'm in my teenage years. I'm at an art school. I'm at Cardinal Carter Academy for the Arts, playing oboe, playing trumpet, playing clarinet. I'm playing in the orchestra. We're doing plays. I'm being exposed to the different arts and different people in the arts who some of which I'm still in contact with today,
Hmm.
right?
That's good. Yeah.
Um, and but Pan is coming along, and I'm on the stage side now,
Mhm.
and then I get an opportunity to become the stage side arranger, and I introduce, in my opinion, some classical pieces
Okay.
that and marches, not just classical pieces. 'Cause, sometimes when people say classical, they hear a violin, and they think it's classical. They
Yeah.
hear a piano and they think it's classical. And
Yeah.
classical is too much of a general term that's thrown out there. There's Renaissance, there's Baroque, there's contemporary, there's romantic,
Yeah.
there's different eras of music. So when I say classical, it was a broad term I was using, but I was putting out marches, things. I always said, I want to do what no one else is doing, so that you make a sound, but there's nothing else to compare it to. So
Mm.
it's automatically going to be good,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um, it was a stomping ground, and it was an opportunity for me to really practice all the stuff that was in my head.
Hmm.
And as a composer and or an arranger, there is nothing like hearing what's in your head out loud.
Oh, solid. Yeah. Yeah.
There's
I
nothing
agree.
like it. I'll be honest with you, the performance is really for the players.
Hmm.
Practice and rehearsal,
Yeah.
it's for me. Because the
Yeah.
performance lasts for however it lasts, how long it lasts, right? But
Hmm.
being able to like edit and go along and let's try this and do that, it's um I might be getting off into another part of the interview,
It's
but
okay. It's okay.
that part is just, it's like gold for me. There's no way to there's nothing to put, there's nothing like it. And if I can just move off of this a bit,
Hmm.
there's an element, there's something in Trinidad and Tobago where it's almost a gift. It's almost a rite of passage that you have to go through certain levels of arranging and composing before you can get to what they consider a big band,
Yeah.
right? Whether it's
Yeah.
a small, medium, or large band, right?
Yeah.
It's that element that I just spoke of about being able to hear your thoughts out loud. I find it's reserved. You don't get to hear that until you have put your dues in,
Yeah.
right? So when you hear a band like All Stars or Phase Two or Renegades or Exodus or Silver Stars, and these are big bands with 100 and who cares how many people playing,
Hmm.
and it's not even to the point where it's whether you like their music or not, but just walking to the yard, you're hearing somebody's thoughts. And not everybody on the face of this earth is able to hear their thoughts out loud like that, you know?
No, you don't really think of it that way. You're just thinking this is something I did and I want everyone to hear it. You're not thinking of everyone's actually in my head for this 8 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's a good way to see it. Yeah.
And it's a welcome.
Yeah.
It is a welcome. And even if you are a performer and you're performing at a wedding or a funeral or just at a backyard birthday party, and one person claps or one person does,
Yeah.
they they took the invitation.
Yeah.
And for me, that's good enough, because that connection, that connection of me being on the ground and my mom's in the connection in the kitchen and I'm hearing the music that she used to listen to.
Hmm.
She's welcoming me,
Yeah.
and you made that connection without saying anything. And
I,
it doesn't hurt. It only
yeah.
always feels good.
I think we're done with the interview because you said a lot, and I'm pretty sure everyone's like shaking their head, like yes, yes, yes. Like I'm seeing hearts and I'm seeing 100% because it's true. You feel music. You don't need to. It doesn't matter what language you speak. You will understand what that person's saying through their music,
Hmm.
and it.
I agree. If
Yeah.
I think, I think I had said something to you that was said to me years ago that I didn't understand, that I do understand now, which is
Hmm.
competition is killing our community. It's an aggressive statement,
Hmm.
but I think when you unpack that statement, I think what that means is, you don't see the the positive or the lengths in which a musician or a band has made because you're in a competition and you
Yeah.
need to beat them.
Yeah.
But you take that out and you're opening yourself up to, I mean, music is vibration, right? You're
Hmm.
opening yourself up to something you may not experience if you don't take away that competition side out of it.
Exactly.
Um Pan Alive, now Toronto Panorama, for the during the pandemic,
Hmm.
similar to Trinidad, they did a showcase instead of a competition.
Yeah.
And I spoke to a lot of people, both who were in Trinidad for the showcase,
Hmm.
and people who were at the time Pan Alive for the showcase, and they said they had so much fun.
Huh.
There is an I think when you push the competition aspect on players,
A
for
lot of pressure.
those who don't really, yeah, and for those
Yeah.
who don't really handle pressure very well, even those who are a good player, they're like
Hmm.
shaking in their boots because they want to make sure that everything is,
Yeah.
the mayonnaise is where it needs to be, the mustard is where it
Yeah.
needs to be, there's no overflow,
Yeah.
right? But when you take, all you have to say is, oh, it's a showcase. Oh, we're just performing. And it smiles and I had the time of my life. And it's
Hmm.
difficult. It's difficult to say, it's a competition, but make sure and have fun. Like, it's
Yeah.
difficult to say that within the
Yeah.
same
Yeah.
sentence. Like, Well, we want to win, but we're okay. I don't know how to reconcile those two trains of thought.
Hmm.
So for me, I don't, even when I'm in a competition, I don't think of it as a competition.
Yeah.
I think of it as a presentation that will be critiqued.
Yeah.
That's
Hmm.
you're really, for me, I'm like, you're really for me, I'm competing for myself, not against anybody else.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So many things I want to like go back to. Let's go back to your arranging.
Yeah,
So
sure.
you said you had the opportunity to arrange. How did that come about? For those
So,
that are looking to be arrangers and just like, how do I get myself inside that door?
right, I have two answers to that. Remind me to get to the second one, okay?
Okay, I'll write
I'll
it down.
try to make it brief. Okay. Um 1998, the stage side arranger at the time was Ian Jones. He left.
Okay.
And it left, you know, just like if a car moves out of traffic, another car is going to get into that
Hmm.
space. I was at a car, and the first song I did was Water by Masha. When you see the band come down.
Okay. Still remember it.
When you, bruh. And I think it's because it's similar to what's going on right now with Panorama. It was a song for the youth,
Okay.
and everyone in the band was of a certain age, and so we identified with it,
Yeah.
jammed it, right? Then we did a song called "It's Carnivale
Hmm.
Festivale," right? Okay,
Wow. Bringing back
and
memories.
okay, good memories, right?
Yes. Good. Good. Good.
Um, and then it kind of went from there. Then I guess I made enough noise that the people who were running the band felt comfortable with me doing the music for stage side. And
Okay.
then we started Afropan started um, a show or showcase really called Snowflakes on
Yeah.
Steel,
Yeah.
and it's still running to
Hmm.
today. Snowflakes on Steel for me was a way for me to practice. It
Okay.
was practice. It was, how can I get the crowd to respond? Oh, there's kids in the crowd. Maybe I should do a song that will identify with them. Because remember, I'm always thinking I want people to have the same experiences I've had and know how amazing this instrument and music is in general. So,
Yeah.
what can I bring to the crowd every year that's different? Oh, let's do a Latin. Let's do a march. Let's do a
Hmm.
song no one's ever known. Let's do a song in a different time signature,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
just just different, and
Hmm.
that's how I was able to get into it. Unfortunately, that is not the case for a lot of bands, and that is not the case for a lot of people who want that opportunity,
Yeah.
which brings me to my second point.
Hmm.
At Souls of Steel, which is my band, that I started alongside four other board, board of directors.
Okay.
We did a concert 2 or 3 years ago called the Arrangers Concert.
Mm.
And this gave an opportunity for people in Toronto who would otherwise not be known that
Yeah.
they can either solo or they can actually put music together. It gave them a spotlight and it highlighted them. It made them more visible. And it humbled me because I didn't do the arrangement. But
Right.
I asked my band members, which I always do. I
Hmm.
asked them, is this something that you would like to do? Because it's better to have people on board than told what to do, you
Right.
know?
Right.
And they were
Yeah.
all for it. So imagine now a show which has happened twice now.
Hmm.
It's really in depth, and I'll tell you why. Two shows have happened. The first show that happened, it was a dedication to Shadow,
Yeah.
Winston Bailey. I don't really have a favorite anything. I don't have a favorite color or anything, but Shadow will probably be the closest favorite artiste, musician in my life, who I
Hmm.
don't think Trinidad has really honored
Yeah.
the way I think he should
Pay
have
for
been
the
honored.
thing. Yeah. I agree.
So our first Arrangers concert was dedicated to shadow.
Mm-hmm.
And what we did was each arranger that was invited had to pick a shadow tune to
Right.
arrange.
Right.
Great. After each, we had the arranger first highlighted. They did a solo in whatever fashion
Okay.
they wanted to,
Okay.
right? Then we did their arrangement, and then we had a discussion about it, similar to what you're asking me right now. What got you
Yeah.
into this? You know? And we did that with Joy Laps. We did that with Robbie Charles, Richard Cornelius, Fidel Wilson, Gareth Burgess,
Mm-hmm.
and myself. I did it this year. This year we did a dedication to Sparrow,
Yes.
and and it's like, we're also playing for the crowd because the people know
Mm-hmm.
Shadow, they know
Yeah.
Sparrow. So you as a musician now who's playing pan, who may not even know the music, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're playing pan and you're looking into the crowd and you're seeing
Yeah.
goldfish, oh God, oh Lord,
Yeah.
oh. Junior, you remember this? Or you're seeing that. And
Yeah.
so you as a musician, you're like, okay, I guess they've been to a seminar themselves.
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
And so that I'm all about making other people visible because I'll tell you what, years ago, my mother, my brother, and I were watching Panorama.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a band that finally made it to finals.
Okay.
It was I want to say it was a poor band. And I don't mean poor from the neighborhood. I mean poor as in the band really didn't have the funds. And
Okay.
why I say that is when the camera would look down,
Mm-hmm.
the footwear of everybody was not the same.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it almost brought you to tears because all these people wanted to do was make it to the big yard.
Mm-hmm.
All they wanted to do, and they made it,
Yeah.
right? They made it. And sometimes if you don't have the resources, you can't get that top arranger to come and arrange the song that everyone
Mm-hmm.
knows. Because the thing is, the music is amazing, but they don't know the arranger. So
Yeah.
your band ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that arrangers concert, it was an example of there are people who can do things in the community that maybe if this person isn't available, maybe this person's price is too much.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you want just somebody different. Maybe you want a female,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? There are other people who can do the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
and they should be given the space to do so.
Yeah.
So you don't run into stagnant. You don't run into the same thing from the same band all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. I mean, even come on, even sports teams change things up.
Mm-hmm.
Even sports teams change coaches.
Yeah.
There are bands who have had the same arranger for 30 or 40 or 50 years. I'm
Yeah.
not saying if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm just saying that I'm sure that there are other points of view
Mm-hmm.
that could come out that could still be under the name of the band,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know? So this is primarily why I don't like to say Souls is my band.
Right.
Souls is the band that I do music for. I started it,
Mm-hmm.
but I am always open to different points of view and different perspectives because why not?
Yeah.
If if Mr. Ian Jones did not leave,
You wouldn't have never
Danielle,
had that
who
opportunity.
knows?
Yeah.
Who knows what or where I would be?
Yeah. That's
Who knows?
very true. That's you may not be arranging right now. You never know.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
might be playing iron. Okay.
Yeah.
I might be, who knows? Who knows? It's
Mm-hmm.
the opportunities that it's the missed opportunities that you don't want to regret them and I would I would like people to create opportunities for me, so I got to
Yeah.
create opportunities for other people as well.
Yeah. For sure. I again, you said so much. I want to go back to a few things that you said. I was gonna touch about a Rangers concert later, but since you brought it up now, we'll talk about it now. Um, so the layout for Rangers concert, is it you're kind of guiding them before the concert, or how does that work for those that kind of want to join for the next one or look
You
forward to the next one?
mean the audience?
No, just the arrangers itself. So you said that
They
they
only
you perform in.
Yeah, again, I don't like to work with
Okay,
limitations, but the
yeah.
only limitation is for the Rangers concert specifically is you just have to pick a song by
Okay.
the musician we are highlighting that year.
Okay.
Other than that, like I make a list. This is the list. The
Hmm.
arranger chooses it. Once that song is gone, then
It's
the
gone.
another arranger comes.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie, it was difficult for the band. It was challenging, and
Yeah.
and I was we were even considering like how much are we going to charge for this, because let's be honest,
Yeah.
you're hearing professional musicians do a 7 to 8 minute composition arrangement.
Hmm.
I call it a composition, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Composition by one band 3 times. That's like
Right.
$50.
Yeah.
If you say you're paying $10 per song, then you're at 30. You're already at
Hmm.
30, right?
Yeah.
But let's put a little inflation on that.
Hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
Let's put a little Doug Ford on that, okay?
Why
And now
not?
you're at 50, right?
Why not?
So I just don't I don't want people to look at it and be like, ugh. I want people to know that there has been thought that's put into this,
Hmm.
and there has been work that's put into this.
Yeah.
My members were they were tired. They
Right.
were, because I mean, think about it. Okay, you learn one arrangement, simple.
Yeah.
You start learning another one, but the other one you still have to practice.
Hmm.
So now you have to find a way to keep learning but practice the previous one, and then a third one. It's a
Yeah.
challenge, Danielle.
It is.
And the second time we were going to do it, I remember having that conversation and being like, "Are you guys ready? You guys know what's about to happen."
Yeah.
But I think the inspiration, the focus, the level up of the musicianship, it it brought everyone together.
Hmm.
Everyone was doing their own mental practices. Everyone was, they have their own little group chats. I didn't even know. They have their own
Right.
little practices with their stuff. They did what
Yeah.
they had to do. And I could only thank them, because all I have to say is clearly you've been paying attention. You
Yeah.
cannot just walk in here. It's a lovely space. The Panyard is a lovely space. It's a stress-free environment.
Hmm.
It's a totally creative and a place for expression. However, there is work that's involved, and they came in and they were focused and they executed it at the
Yeah.
concert. So that's it. Those are the parameters. The arranger comes in, they have a certain amount of time. I think they have maybe 4 to 6 weeks, which
Hmm.
really means 4 to 6 practices, because we only practice one time a week.
Once. Yeah.
I mean, think about that,
It's a
Danielle.
lot.
You
Yeah.
have
It's a
six
lot.
practices to learn 7 minutes worth of music, and then
Hmm.
bye, next one,
Yeah.
you know?
It's a lot. Yeah.
And so where I had to humble myself is now I have to drill other people's music with my
Yeah.
band.
Yeah.
Never heard of.
Right.
You can never go into another band and be like, you know, such and such band from Hamilton, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
is playing such and such from Montreal, and the drill master is, it doesn't
It,
happen,
no.
but it did at
Right.
Souls. It did at Souls. And
Right.
so I would never suggest something for somebody else I haven't tried for myself.
No, that's
So
fair.
I know it works.
Yeah. Just gonna go through the comments. Earlier, Giselle said 45 is what you're talking about, the record. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. 45s.
And then Jonesy said, Andre, I want to thank you for your insight and honesty as you reflect and respond in the interview.
Who said that?
Jonesy.
Oh, bless you. Thank you. Thank you.
And then Ashley said, enough work, tired and inspiration for sure. And then Earl said, people have to get out of the mentality that pan should be free. And I 100% agree. 100% agree. What else is there? Chess said, that's a lot of work. Um, well done to all the players. Earl, I'm not drinking gin and juice. I'm drinking rum.
And I don't drink alcohol. So anybody making a joke of me drinking anything, I'm literally drink. Well, I'm not drinking alcohol.
Fair.
But the comment that Earl made about pen should not be free, I'd like to unpack that.
Yeah.
That is based on so many things. A lot of people say in the pan community that pan is not where it needs to be, and I say it's the exact opposite, and I'll say why. It has
Okay.
not even been 100 years since pan has been on this planet. If you
Hmm.
think about the clarinet, any any other instrument, any other instrument has gone through its transitions. It's left its country of origin or its place of origin.
Hmm.
It has been turned into an electric whatever,
Right.
right? Pan has made leaps and bounds, and it hasn't even been 100 years yet,
Right.
right? So I think the mentality of it being paid, it's annoying for those of us who are in the pen performance community and kind of
Hmm.
have to negotiate prices, right?
Yeah.
But we have to remember that it's still exotic. It's still
Yeah.
an exotic instrument,
Yeah.
and people haven't gotten over its exoticism to the point where they can't even think of. I'm not even thinking about price. I'm like, are you plugged in? I have people when I have a performance. I have people coming in and lifting my pen and seeing if I'm plugged into something.
Yeah.
How does it amplify so well? And blah 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 blah. Right.
Hmm.
So I can understand where the world is at because pan is already on the world stage.
Yeah.
It's in the
Yeah.
world. It is of the world. And I don't think Trinidad and Trinidadians under those who live in Trinidad understand the influence that not only Trinidad has on the world,
Hmm.
literally, but the steel pan. It
Yeah.
is everywhere, Danielle.
It is.
It's in those smelly subways in New York.
Hmm.
You
Yep.
can't even find it because the thing is a maze. You hear pick, 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 you're like,
Where is it
what
coming
train
from?
do you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
How do I
Yeah.
get to where it is, right?
Yeah.
It is in it's in Europe, it's in Sweden, it is in
Hmm.
Japan,
South
it
Africa.
South Africa,
Hmm.
it's infectious.
Yeah.
It is on the world stage.
Yeah.
And it is making leaps and bounds. I think over the past from 2010 to now, it has
Hmm.
made huge leaps and bounds. And I think Trinidad has finally noticed that, and they've really made a change into implementing it in back into education.
Yeah.
Really giving its citizens support in in showing them that they can make a living being a pan player,
Hmm.
trying their best to preserve the craft that some of our ancestors who make the instrument, who have gone, unfortunately, or who are still here, trying to preserve their craft. Because I got to tell you, you know, there are violins that sound very different
Hmm.
if, in terms of structure.
Yep.
But if you have a pan ear, you can hear the difference between certain pan makers.
Yeah.
Some sound very warm and mellow. Some sound very bright,
Yep.
and some sound tinny.
Hmm.
Um, and some sound almost tight. I can't explain it.
I know what you mean. But yeah.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
There's not that much of a decay in the sound. It's just very,
Hmm. Yep.
like a
Very
language.
stiff. It's like stiff. Yeah.
Yeah, stiff, right?
Yeah.
Right? But
Yeah.
but that is a craft. It's beyond of whether you like it or not. It like honor the craft. Can you do it?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And I was just gonna bounce off of that because I've had this conversation a lot on this podcast about yes, the pan is still considered exotic or a themed instrument still. Um, and when it does come to performing, people want to hire us for $100, $50, and not treating us like an actual musician. So how do you think, as a pan community, do we get over that hump and just like, we're a musician too. We deserve our payment. Like we can't get paid off of food.
So, um, I remember when I first started performing, I wondered what I'm supposed to charge.
Right.
And again, I spoke to my brother Earl Jr.,
Mm,
and over the years, he's given me advice on certain things, including this particular topic.
yeah.
However, I did some research on piano players.
Hmm.
This was pre-pandemic though, so things clearly may have changed since then.
Right.
Now, honestly, when I looked at how much a piano player would make per hour, they were at like $96 an hour.
Yeah.
No word of a lie.
No, I did the research too.
Right?
Yeah.
Pan players, I tell pan people, depending on the pan player you're getting, you should charge anywhere from 300 and up
Hmm.
an hour.
Yeah.
So technically, again, things may have
Hmm.
changed. I have not done the research since then, but technically, pan players are getting paid more than certain musicians.
Hmm.
However, rightfully so.
Yeah.
It's a new instrument. Not everyone understands it.
Hmm.
Not everyone even thinks it's an instrument.
It's an instrument, exactly.
Can you play bossa nova? What are you
Yeah.
talking about? It
Hmm.
is an instrument. Yes, I can. Do you have a backing track? But
Yeah.
yes, the I think the payment is on par. And if I'm being honest, Danielle, I'm honest with people. When they hire me, I take certain things into consideration.
Yeah.
What type of performance is it? People who are listening might want to write this down. I'll repeat.
Please,
What type
please
of
write
performance
it
is
down.
it? Right?
Yeah.
Who is there? What is it for? Am I
Hmm.
in the backyard? What time? What am I outside? Right? Am I protected from the elements? How far
Hmm.
is it from my residence? Right? You
Yeah.
have to think about these things because that is what naturally a musician would think about if it's their job, right?
Hmm.
How long am I expected to play? Am I taking requests? Are you asking me to prepare a particular repertoire? Which means I have to take time out of my day before I perform to learn the music I may not know.
Yep.
All of these things can get factored into the price. So you
Yeah.
never really have to say how much it's going to be until you have all of that information.
Hmm. Earl just
Some
said, "Do
people,
I have to bring equipment?" That's another question.
do I have what? Absolutely. Can I just
Yeah.
walk with my laptop, my sticks,
And my
and
phone.
my bubble and
Yeah.
my pen? Now,
Yeah.
depending on the type of performance, all of these things, like if it's like for a professional, like if it's you're at a concert,
Hmm.
these are regular things that are um, taken care of. You
Yeah.
might even get a green room, right? Of
Yeah.
food and stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, how long am I there? Sometimes, even if you want me to play for 15 minutes, but I'm there for 2 hours, you gotta pay me
That's
for the 2 hours
exactly.
because it's
Yeah.
really my time. It's my time, you know?
Yeah.
So that is also factored in. And I have given quotes of anywhere from 300 to $1,500.
Hmm.
And it's kind of like take it or leave it. This is
Yeah.
this is who I am. I know my worth.
Yeah.
I know what I'm going to bring. You contacted me,
Exactly.
right? And
Yeah.
sometimes people are shopping around,
Yeah.
and that's fair.
Hmm.
If you want to find something that's within your budget, we all do it,
Yeah.
right? Some people shop at Metro, some people shop at Dollarama. We all do things within our
Yeah.
budget. So that's totally understandable and totally acceptable. And I think I've
Hmm.
done enough gigs to know that if it's a no,
Exactly.
I'm good. I'm okay. I know there'll be another opportunity.
Hmm.
Yeah.
The thing, talking about shopping around, there's myself. I'm pretty much the only soloist here in Edmonton at the moment, and then there's another soloist that's 3 hours south from me. what we've done is that people can shop around between the two of us, but we're charging the same price. I may charge like if you're in Calgary and you want me to drive to Calgary, I'm charging you extra for I gotta pay for gas and my mileage. So if you want someone in Calgary, you might as well just hire him. It'll be cheaper for you, so you don't
Hmm.
have to pay my mileage to
Yep.
drive down there, and you don't have to pay for my hotel if it's a late gig.
Yep.
So I think if you have so many panis in that same province or community, you all need to work together. Be like, you can shop around, but we're all the same price.
And the thing is, sometimes I'll get an opportunity for a gig. I'll
Hmm.
read what the requirements
Yeah,
are, and I'd be like, you know what? This is a good opportunity for someone, again, thinking along of spreading it out. This
yeah,
might be an opportunity for somebody else to be a little bit more visible.
yeah,
Let me put them in
exactly.
connection. Let me connect them to somebody in my band or
Yeah,
not.
yeah,
I might find somebody or just ask somebody else because it's like I don't it's exposure that we're looking
yeah,
for. And again, the pan community is so much more connected than I think we even realize.
yeah.
Because when you go to a pan event, it's
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 like
just comfortable.
it's like a reunion.
I was getting a phone call.
That's all good.
Um, I did put do not disturb, but the thing
And
is,
it's okay. It's okay. I just want to tell you real quick. Hello, Duvon. Congratulations.
can you? I just want you to tell me, Danielle, can you still see me?
Oh, you paused.
How about now?
There we go.
Okay, Danielle, one
Okay.
second, if you don't mind, please.
Nope,
Audience, two
nope.
seconds, please.
No worries. No worries. So hello, welcome. Hello, Duvon, who else joined us tonight? Travis, Meg, Keandra, hello, Sherwin. How are you guys doing, Marvin? We are talking with Andre Rouse, an amazing educator, pianist, musician, arranger. For those that just joined, I don't know if you want to say congratulations to Duvon for winning single pan. When was it? Last night? No, Saturday. Saturday. So congratulations. But yeah, we're just having an amazing conversation right now. Um, I don't know if anyone wants to touch on single pan real quick while we wait on Andre to get back. Oh, you're back.
Congratulations, Duvon. I saw
Yeah.
some of the performance, and I certainly saw the picture of the trophy. And I think what makes me smile is the youth and their involvement and knowing again, Pan is doing fine.
Yeah.
It's doing fine. There may be places that can be improved on.
Hmm.
I always say um, simple warning, Duvan. I always say that simple decisions can make a huge impact,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Duvan, you're making everything pixelated. I can't even I
Good night,
can't even
Kate.
see Danielle anymore.
What's up, man?
It's
Yes.
okay. How are you?
Good.
Congratulations.
Thanks very much, man. Thanks very much. Thank you very much. It was a it was a hard one. It was a hard one, but thanks very much,
You're welcome. You're welcome.
man. I
I
love the
liked what
topic.
you did.
For me,
No, I was gonna say I like how you change up the arrangement a bit.
tonight's tonight's program is all about Mr. Andre Rouse, and a lot of people don't even really know how gifted this individual is as a human being, as a creative individual within the space of music, not just steel pan music, you know. And it's not about Duvon Stewart speaking about what took place on Saturday. So I'm really enjoying this interview that you're doing, Andre, to the point that he is highlighting some key things that we in the steel pan fraternity as musicians needs to have in our space to take with us going forward as professionals in the game, you know. But
Mhm.
Andrew, you're doing a good job, man. You're doing a good job. But I just came on to say good night to everybody, to the All Steel Pan podcast, which I've been looking at for many episodes. But Andre, you're king, man. You know, I know I give you flowers, man. I give you your flowers. You're a great musician, you know. I know we're getting older now, with the beard going gray, you know. You know, you have more than me, but
Hey, we're
you're
getting
looking nice, you know.
wiser. We're
Yeah, we
getting
get,
wiser and better.
yeah, we're
And
getting
every
wiser.
day is another day to get it
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Mhm.
for real, for real. But when you speak of King, you're hitting the button. You're hitting everything on the head of what is supposed
Thank
to
you.
be done, of what is supposed to be known to brothers and sisters in the steel pan fraternity. And not much people will appreciate what you're saying, but you need to continue, or we all need to continue to be on that forefront to
Mhm.
mask that identity of what the instrument represents to us in the fraternity holistically.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and again, I'm just one voice and one vessel. If there are many of us within the circle to preach that language, that vocabulary, they will understand one day what it is like to be in that realm, in that space, going forward to preach that great language that we have to speak about
Hmm.
on a 365, 7 days, 24 hours a day
Hmm.
motion, you know? But we have to come together within the fraternity as a unit where we unite our ideas and come together to make these things become sustainable, to make it viable, and to make it become a longevity gift going forward. That we
And
all understand the concept.
and to realize that we can do this now,
Mhm.
and to realize where we could be going forward. That's the thing. We are all unique and amazing. And it's yes, it's good for us to all come together and create, but it's that awareness that we can do anything,
Facts.
anything,
Yeah.
Facts.
anything. And all it requires is it is accepting that invitation, getting rid of some ego. I've been chipping
Just
away at that for 20
not
years.
some, all,
All,
all egos,
Chipping.
not
all of
It's
it.
some,
it's it's
all
big. It's big
of it,
because
Andre.
remember,
Andre.
it's put there by your parents. It's put there by your parents. Part of it is guilt. It's
Mhm.
usually put there by your parents to stop you from doing things that make you feel good. But we'll keep going, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you have to chip away at it. And the reason why you have to chip away at it is because it's not always challenged. It's not always
Mhm.
challenged. When it is, you have to sit back and be like, how can I relax in this situation and let, as they say, let God be, if you will.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Some people say, people have different sayings of saying that. But how can I just let it be and see where things land? And I gotta tell you, I do that on almost a daily basis. And I try to be, stress free within that framework. And the different things that come up, the ideas that can come up when you can humble yourself, um, is astronomical. It really is. And you could tap it. You can tap into man. I don't even want. You can tap into different frequencies and different vibes and stuff. Anyway, that's another conversation.
Well, no, yo,
I
King,
mean,
King, listen to me. We need to speak the things. We need to
mhm.
elaborate on the things that we are missing within our fraternity that we need to have out there. Because listen to me, I would have never been the individual that I am presently if I wasn't a traveling musician to see what has been taking place in Europe, in Asia, in America. And if I
Mm-hmm.
in Trinidad and Tobago, only my mindset will have been okay. What happens here
Yep.
is what I'm going to believe is what is going to happen for me here. And we in this fraternity have not really expressed the fact that we have to release ego 1,000,000%.
Duvon,
Release it to the
if I
place and go out there. Go out and
Mm-hmm.
see what these brothers in France doing, what these people in England doing, what these people in Canada doing, what these people in America doing with the instrument. Our
Mm-hmm.
if you can
biggest demise in our fraternity is ourselves.
Yep.
Mhm. Yep. Mhm.
We our we are our biggest problem
Yep.
I
because
if I
generation.
can add to that, Duvon, before you go, maybe about 20 or 30 minutes ago, Danielle had asked that question, and you and I have seen each other in Canada, Trinidad, England, and you know one thing that I'm sure you can agree with me on is, and what's so beautiful about it is, your approach to music changes depending on where you are
Thank you
and what
very
band
much.
you're arranging for.
Yeah.
Thank
Yep.
you very
There,
much.
Danielle, this is why the Arrangers concert was so big,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know, you feel, this is how I feel. You feel like you're more open and relaxed to try different things because you're not necessarily catering to an audience that you know,
Right.
or musicians who at that point, depending on how long you've been with them, you necessarily know. So like you're open to so much more, and your approach, I mean, it almost gives you heart palpitations for me because I feel music. I feel
Mm-hmm.
it. I see differently.
Yeah.
Depending on the music I'm listening or doing, I see things differently and I feel it differently. And if I'm arranging for souls, or if I'm arranging for Afropan, or if I'm drilling another band, it's it's always a different atmosphere for me, and it's like different keys for different locks, and that the humility is out of the window, and
Mm-hmm.
you are just in the realm of creativity. That's
Yeah.
all. Everything matters and nothing matters at all.
Yeah. At
Hmm.
the same time. Yeah.
And it's not
Facts.
something you can experience if you stay
Humble.
here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, stay
You know,
humble. Stay
Yeah.
you
humble
know,
with the game, man.
as a giraffe, you could never explain to a turtle what the tops of trees looks like.
I
No,
love
that's
that.
that's
I love that.
that's a good analogy. Yeah.
That's a good analogy. I love
Yeah.
that.
They
I
will
love that.
never
I love that.
ever get it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I love that
That's
analogy.
I'll leave it there. So
Now, but for me personally, I need to open a space where we could educate our fellow musicians and bands, steel bands globally with the concept of what is needed to be known, what is needed to be said, what is needed to be trending out there for us to be accepted much more as creatives in our professional spaces, you know.
mm,
But we still here to learn new things, you know. And I may not be around when that change really takes place, but it has to start somewhere. It
Mm-hmm.
has to start somewhere. It has to be integrated from somewhere. And don't mind the competition is what we love in Trinidad and Tobago, and the competition is what warrants somebody to be out there internationally. I have a twofold on it, you know, but Andre White is an amazing, amazing musician. He has
Mm-hmm.
an idea, he has ideas, he has the concepts of being what he wants to see the change in this game and what how many people will appreciate what he say? How many people will appreciate what Andre Rouse is saying tonight? How many people will take the positive that is happening tonight and let's try to integrate is going to be the next fold for Steel Pan's supposed to be going, on the music of Steel Pan, the arranging, the tuners, the administration part of it. But we need to still take time to accept the fact that we had to accept change. We had to accept change
Mm-hmm.
because the music fraternity is growing, is blossoming, is thriving, but steel pan music is still on the back bench. Big up to Mr. Earl Pierre Jr. and to the people behind the scenes that created this steel pan online radio station, satellite radio station, where people could hear steel pan 24 hours a day. That's just one of the parts where we could feel appreciated.
Yes, big up
Mm-hmm.
to Rudo
Yeah.
and big up to Earl Pierre Jr.
Yeah.
because when that dropped, I tried my best to advertise that to everything, the raccoons in the trees, everything and anything that has ears. I wanted them to
Bro,
know that
bro,
this is
Yeah.
ultimate. This is
Mm-hmm.
ultimate
It's a
stuff.
huge step. It's something that we needed for sure.
Hmm.
like
I agree.
I'm part of the group, and I told them, yo, this is not something to sit on. Let's lament on it. Let's lament
Mm-hmm.
on it.
Yeah.
Somebody could be driving from Calgary to Toronto.
Hmm.
You click on the radio station, and we continue to love what is out there for us.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Yes.
It is what
I
it is.
wanted to. Yes, Duvon, bless you. Thank you, brother. I wanted to just give Danielle, if she had any more questions to me, I wanted to give her some more time. But
Yeah.
bless
Okay,
you,
I will come off. I will come off.
Yeah.
I will come off, man.
Yeah.
bless
Yeah,
you, Duvon.
Have a good night.
I'll see
Thank
you
thank you
soon,
very
you.
much,
brother.
man. Have a good night,
All
and
right,
congrats much to
thank
everybody for
you.
the love and the support, man.
Um,
Good show.
Michael just had a comment. You are a pioneer and can start the movement. Start the movement. We all have to think outside the box if we want to appreciate it out here. And I,
And
sorry,
Michael said that about you, right?
I don't know. I don't know who.
Maybe he'll clarify.
Yeah, maybe. I hope so. Um, uh, uh, I don't know where to go. I don't know where to go. Um, with the Arrangers concert, I just want to touch back on that again. I honestly did not realize how many arrangers there are in Toronto until I saw that posted. And I've talked about this on the show. Like in Canada, we don't know what's out here. We don't know what each other has because, don't get me wrong, when people hear Pan, all they think of is Ontario. So everyone's focused over there.
Hmm.
But over here in Alberta is what I'm trying to highlight is that I didn't even know Ken was over here. Gary, oh, I
Yep.
can't remember names right now, but
Gary
I didn't even
Pena,
know yeah, didn't
Pena.
even know
Yep.
they were out here.
Yep.
So just knowing that we literally have such amazing arrangers here in Canada that no one knows about. So with you doing that arrangers concert, it opened my mind and eyes and ears just to say, wow, to
Yeah.
be honest.
Not everybody could be Michael
Yeah.
Jackson. And what I mean by that is you can't just always be looking for Michael Jackson or Kanye
Mhm.
West,
Yeah.
right? There are
Hmm.
people who are capable of
Yeah.
doing what needs to be done,
Hmm.
who are affordable to do things that need to be done.
Yeah.
There are bands that have not been created yet that might have a chance now because now they know that there are more people who might be able to be there to support them.
Yeah.
So the Arrangers concert, that's why I said it was so in depth. It could be unpacked in so many ways. But it
Hmm.
really was a present to the community and for anybody who came that, hey, it's not just me. It's not just me
Yeah.
who can do
Yeah.
this.
And I appreciate that. Yeah. There's another comment here. Travis said there's Pan in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Yes, there's also Pan in Saskatchewan. Like there's the Pan community in Western Canada is very small, but we all know about each other some way, somehow. And we're all just trying to support each other any way we can. Michael also said we need to keep educating and, sorry, educating the listeners and people out there that this out there that there I don't know what he's trying to say. People out there, I'm assuming.
Mm.
But yeah. What made you?
Cheska says, quite in China. Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Your question?
yeah. I was gonna say, music has been instilled in you since you were young.
Hmm.
Literally grew up with music.
Hmm.
What made you decide that you want to be a music educator and instill the same love for music into the children that are out there?
I've always enjoyed when I can help people understand something.
Hmm.
When you're present and you can see that light bulb go
Yeah,
off, there's nothing like it.
right.
I also know that I'm good at music. So
It is.
putting the two together.
Yeah, and get paid for it.
However, I never signed up to be a teacher. I actually wanted to be an emergency response person because when I saw money coming into the home, it was from business. It wasn't from
Right,
the arts.
right.
So I went and did human resources like a kunumunu when I left high school. Like what? I was in my second year doing accounting and I'm good at school, but I wasn't enjoying
Right.
myself. And I remember my mom coming into my room. I wasn't happy and she noticed it and she said, "What's going on?" And I'm not happy what I'm doing. And she literally said, "What have I always said? Do whatever makes you happy. The money will come."
Hmm.
She always told that to me. Next day, dropped out and I I got a full-time job because I wanted to put myself through school. Worked for about 2 years,
Hmm.
got, got into York, got my bachelor's with honors.
Okay.
Then I went and did my master's, and then I got my teaching degree from OISE, U of T. At that time, I was teaching part-time as an instructor for the Catholic Board.
Okay.
So I got that job, again, opportunity. I was doing a concert for Afropan at the North York Performance Arts Center, something like that. It was
Okay.
with Liberty Silver and David Rudder and Eddie Bullen,
Okay.
right? And
Yeah.
I'm doing music with and for like big heads. These are heavy hitters.
Hmm.
And here I am in my 20s, like, I think it's a C sharp. You know what I mean? Like, you know.
Yeah.
But again, you're getting these experiences
Hmm.
at the concert. At the concert were three people: a principal, a priest, and a parent. I'm not setting up a riddle. I'm telling you what happened, right?
I was
And
waiting for the joke.
I ended up doing the first movement of Mozart's symphony. Who cares? I think it was 40, maybe.
Hmm.
At the end of it, this I'm not in the audience, so the story is being
Right.
told to me
Right.
that someone said, I believe it was the parent who is now my board of director at Souls, at the time said, "We need to speak to the person who did this song." She was sitting right behind my mom. My mom heard her and said, "It was my son." And she said, "Would you mind if we can speak to him?" After the concert, I was told that blah, 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 blah. Okay?
Hmm.
Ended up getting a connection there. The school that they represented was Holy Name. Okay? And they had just purchased a set of pans, but they didn't have a pan instructor.
Wow.
They ended up asking me if I would like to teach an adult program at the school after school for a couple of months. I said, "Sure, no problem."
Hmm.
I went and I did it, taught them Spider Man to the little Dibby Dibby tune. I think it was Spider-Man. Yeah, it was Spider-Man.
Yeah.
They went and they performed it for the audience, the school, and it was great. Not knowing that the people who I was teaching were the teachers in the school. They didn't tell me that. They didn't
Wow.
even tell me that one of the people was the principal, and they were interviewing me to be a teacher.
That's
So,
crazy.
Danielle, how things happen. So at the end
Yeah.
of the performance now the principal, who she's like, just so you know, I'm the principal at the school. Joe Nazar was her name. And she said, how would you like to do this starting in September? Uh, okay. I'm in my third year of university,
Yeah.
working at TELUS Mobility part-time, teaching at Holy Name and St. Paul's because they also had a set of bands. Okay. So now the ambulance emergency response person is going
Yeah.
further and further away, right?
Yeah.
I end up I'm like, okay, so I can do this. I'm starting to do report cards. And you know what it's similar to, Danielle? It's similar
Hmm.
to when I was doing the stage side for Afropan. I'm practicing
Right.
because I'm not a teacher yet. I'm just an instructor, right?
Yeah.
But I'm still doing report cards. I still have that responsibility. But I'm only
Mhm.
working part-time. I only worked twice a week, making, I'll
Okay.
say it right now, $42 an hour.
Wow.
Okay?
So was
So
this
I
an
was
after
able,
school thing or was this like
it
during
was
school?
during school hours. So I'm in my
Okay.
third year, and as you know, in your third year, you don't have that many classes. So I
Yeah.
was able to have that schedule and still be in school.
Okay.
I finished my bachelor's and I'm still teaching. I'm doing my master's, and then the board makes a sweeping layoff for anybody who does not have a teaching degree.
Right.
They fire everybody, including librarians. I said, well, that means they can do this at any time.
Yeah.
I left and I got my teaching degree, my bachelor's of education. And so I am not an instructor. I am a teacher who is qualified to teach anything,
Yeah.
but I am teaching music. And I
Right.
have a salary and I am doing well in that regard. And
Hmm.
and I'm living what my mom always said, just do what makes you happy. The money will follow.
Yeah.
And doing work and going to work and doing what I do is just it's fun. It's joyous. I mean, technically, if you put art in its basic form, painting is just teaching people about color.
Hmm.
Dance is just teaching people about movement,
Yeah.
and drama is teaching people how to focus. Music is
Yeah.
just teaching people sound and how to interpret it.
Very true.
That's really that's all I do. And it's an
Yeah.
amazing,
I love that story. Ashley just says, Mama Rose always knows. Always
surely,
knows. Um,
surely.
yeah. Jackson has a question. I'd love to know Andre's favorite song that you arranged.
So I don't have a favorite anything, just so
Okay.
you know.
Okay.
I do have things that I enjoy.
Okay. Top five. See?
It's still difficult. Um, what was the question again? My favorite song that I've
That you've
arranged.
arranged. Yeah.
I would have to say, uh, uh, sorry, it was just in my
Okay.
head.
Yeah.
It would it's a piece called Sleigh Ride, and
Okay.
what I did, I call it, Ukrainian bell carol, la 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 la
Hmm.
la la,
Yep.
but I kind of turned it into something else. The thing is, people who know that song, who are on this line right now, do not know that I originally did that song for an orchestra, not for steel pan. So I arranged that for strings and flutes and clarinets, and I did that years ago, right?
Wow.
But it for the pan community and for my band, I did it for them, right?
Mhm.
That was a joy for me because it just spoke to me. The colors I felt from that. The next piece, and in no particular order, is a song that I did called Carib Moon, which came to me when I was visiting my now deceased aunt in Trinidad, Auntie Jean. She lives in Arima, and there was a time when I was going to her house, and she lives by a savannah, and the
Okay.
moon, because of pollution, was low and orange.
Right.
And when I looked at it, I just felt a melody. And I did that piece for steel orchestra and a bassoon.
Oh,
The next piece I would put would have to be Pan Baby, a song that I arranged for a band called New Dimensions in Toronto.
okay.
And it it's it's one that speaks to me because it was the first time I ever arranged for now Panorama, then called Pan Alive. It was my first piece I ever did, and it was authentically me. And um it was one thing to hear it in the pan yard, but when I was counting it in on stage, it was almost slow motion for
Right.
me.
Right.
Um, because as I said before, the whole journey hit me in that moment of from July 2nd to whenever that month ended.
Yeah.
That's why it became my favorite. There were moments in the piece that still speak to me. And then finally, a piece that I enjoy because of the enjoyment that other people had was a piece I did for um, Afropan years ago called Shayu Ali. And
Okay.
it was a song that was painstakingly hard for me to get because of what was going on at the time,
Mhm.
where I was in San Diego. I was there for 4 months. The song would come up on a certain speaker at a certain time of day, and it was on a loop. So only a certain time of day it would come up, and I had to chase the song down, find somebody, an employee, to tell me where I could locate the song, what CD it was on. It took about a week for me to
Yeah.
finally get it. But when I did, it it like solved so many problems that I had,
Right.
honestly.
Right.
And I think that's what I mean by like music speaks to me on a different level. It really puts me on a path of healing. It's therapeutic. Um, and again, another reason why I enjoy Shadow so much is that like it helps with challenges that are real in your life.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
So I hope that answered your
Yeah.
question,
No.
whoever asked that.
Yeah. Totally did. There's a few more questions before we leave because I had you for an hour and a half and I don't want to take too much of your night.
That's fair.
Pan Takeover has a question. How do you teach people pan who don't have a pan? Is there a way to do it remotely? I get that question
Right.
a lot.
I believe that there are PAN apps. I'm not sure if you have to pay for them.
You do.
I haven't done a lot of research because I have my own
Yeah.
PAN, which doesn't really help with your question. But um, that question can kind of be asked about any instrument.
Right.
So the answer would still be the same. How would you teach piano if you don't have a piano?
Exactly.
It's a difficult thing to answer, um, because it's one thing to place your hands where they need to be.
Hmm.
I know what notes sound like and what they are just through repetition. So I don't necessarily have to have a pan in front of me, but for
Hmm.
those who do, you would physically need to have that instrument or at least a digital copy of it, and
Yeah.
then you can start your journey as to where you want to be.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. Makes sense. Um, like I said, before we go, I
Hmm.
always ask this question. Well, there's two questions I always ask.
Hmm.
what advice would you give to a young up and coming pianist, arranger, composer that is coming into the musical space? What's the one advice that either someone told you that you want to carry on, or is that something that you've learned along the way?
The worst advice I've ever gotten is don't ever change.
So, okay,
If you're not changing, you're not
you're not growing.
evolving.
Hmm. Yeah.
That's it. And I think the answer to everything is within what I just said.
Hmm.
If you change, that means you're willing to go into different spaces,
Yeah.
make space for yourself,
Hmm.
and make space for others. And if there's somebody that you find might be better at doing what you're doing, learn from them. Don't compete with them.
I agree. That's great. Good advice. Yeah. Chesh has a question real quick. Will you ever take your arrangements to Trinidad, arrangers concert to Trinidad?
Everything usually begins with an invite.
That part.
I will not attend a birthday party
When you're not
if I'm not
invited. Yeah.
invited.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you. I hear
You
you.
know, but I can certainly have my own,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and then what was your second question?
So my second question is, it's a fun question. It's a fun question.
Mhm.
What is one thing no one knows about you? Make it PG.
One thing no one knows about
One
me.
thing, one fun thing that no one knows about you.
Oh dear. There is one Taylor Swift song that I like.
Okay. What is that song?
And I'll tell you why. Anti-hero.
Okay. I can see why.
It's not the music though, it's the lyrics.
Yeah.
And the message from the song is sometimes you don't know that you're the problem.
Yeah.
You're running around all over the place. What's happening? Why is this happening? You know what?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's you. Sometimes it's you.
Yeah. 100%.
That's it.
100%.
I'm not a fan. I don't really think I'm a fan of anybody except for Shadow.
I was gonna
I'm not like a
say,
yeah, I'm not that person that's like, oh my gosh, such and such is coming. I'm
yeah.
not a fan of things. There, like I said, there are things that I enjoy and there are things that I don't.
Hmm.
I'm not a Taylor Swift fan, but that song,
Right. You're a fan of the music,
again, not the music,
not the music. Sorry, lyrics.
the
Really.
lyrics to that song.
Yeah.
And it's the message. It's really the message,
Okay.
right? And
Yeah.
I think that that's also why I enjoy Shadow because he rarely his music it's the message that's in his music. It's always real. It's always
Hmm.
real and it's always something you can learn from.
Yeah.
And I think that that's what it is. I'm eclectic. I listen to North Indian classical music raga.
Okay.
Okay. And I
Okay.
listen to that because when you go to the Asian part of the world, if you're in South Asia, they view music as limited,
Right.
refined,
Yeah.
shiny.
Hmm.
When you go to Northern Asia, their concept of time is stretched. And so where we fit into this 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2
Hmm.
paradigm,
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
bars are 32 beats long before you get to the downbeat again. So
Oh, what?
think about how long a thought is
Yeah.
and what they're trying to express, what emotion, what they're trying to get towards the listener.
Right. Right.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I would go back to your first question, the new and upcoming person, I would say stretch your wings as far as you can and listen to music outside of your comfort zone. You never know what you might bump into. You never know what artist you might bump into that will influence you and that will inspire you to that will inspire your craft and inspire your craft to the point of being able to develop it even more into something more unique than it was
Yeah.
before.
Yeah. Wow. Quick question. Chris just asked, are you open to having new arrangers for your group for the Arrangers concert in 2025?
So my group is Tad, and they said that the Arrangers concert is going to be on the shelf this for 2025.
Okay.
However, I it has picked up some steam, if you will. And Chris, if you follow our page or if you follow me, we will put advertisements out there for the Arrangers concert the next time that we do it, and we will be more than happy to welcome different people into into the community.
Love that. Love that.
Absolutely.
Well, I've had you for an hour and a half. I appreciate it. You brought a lot of insight and you just reiterated a lot of stuff that this all things kind of community, we've talked about a lot. And I know we've beat it into the ground, but do get a lot of new followers that ask the same questions. And it's just good to have a different perspective on those same questions that we've been asking all the time. So I appreciate you
Thank you.
so much. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us tonight.
Problem.
We appreciate it.
Thank you,
And
Danielle.
you're welcome. And we will definitely keep in touch. We have each other's numbers now. We can't
Yes.
hide.
Yes. You
Yeah.
enjoy your evening and
Thank
stay
you.
black.
Always. Thank you all for
Have-
tuning in and have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your week. And I'll see if I'll pop up next week. We'll see.
All
We'll see.
right.
All
Take
right.
care,
Have a good
Danielle.
night,
Bye,
everyone.
everybody. Thank you for listening.
Bye.